Today, the highest court in the country has given relief to suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma in the 9 cases she faces for her comments against Prophet Mohammad. All 9 FIRs have now been transferred to the Delhi Police's Special Cyber Cell Unit for investigation, which means that she will not have to travel across the country to face the different investigations. The court even refused to put any restriction on the Delhi Police in the manner in which they would conduct their investigation. And most importantly, until they finish their probe, Nupur Sharma cannot be arrested.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जिस प्रकार से बाकी इसी तरह के केसेस में ऑर्डर्स पास किए हैं जहां इंसिडेंट एलिगेशन एक है, एफआईआर एक से ज़्यादा है, अलग अलग जगहों पे दर्ज हैं, उन सबको दिल्ली में ट्रांसफ़र कर दिया है। इन्वेस्टिगेशन जो है वो IFSO जो यूनिट है दिल्ली पुलिस का, जो एक स्पेशलाइज्ड यूनिट है, वो उसकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन तहकीकात करेगा। और जो सिमिलर इंटरिम ऑर्डर बाकी पिटिशनर्स को मिले हैं अलग अलग तरह के केसों में, और जो यहाँ भी 19 जुलाई के ऑर्डर में पास किए गए थे, उन सब ऑर्डर्स को इस पिटिशन के लिए भी एक्सटेंड कर दिया गया है।
Now remember, during the hearing in the Apex Court, the West Bengal Government's Council made some interesting arguments in their attempt to stall the court from transferring the case out of West Bengal. The council argued, how can an accused be allowed to pick a jurisdiction? She even went on to say that Nupur's team was forum shopping, which basically is a technical term for saying that they try and choose a bench which will be beneficial or favorable to them. And no new circumstances have emerged in the case, so she should not be allowed to do any forum shopping.
I think it's most unfortunate judgment. The Delhi police has protected her all through, and it seems that the central government, which controls Delhi police, has been backing her. What can anybody really do? I find it very strange. In fact, BJP lawyers went to court to get the comments by Supreme Court on the matter deleted. And then the same Supreme Court gives a relief, clubbing all the cases and protecting her from arrest. I find it strange, sad, paradoxical.
Look, it's a judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, so I don't want to comment much on it. But the same Honorable Supreme Court's division bench has earlier observed so many things, and those words are still there. But it's a Supreme Court's verdict, so I don't want to comment much on it.
So is it strange, sad and paradoxical, as Shagota Roy seemed to suggest? Aryama Sundaram, senior lawyer, is joining us along with Ratan Sharda, author, advocate Ehtesham Hashmi, political analyst, also here with us. Your comments first, Aryama Sundaram.
Look, I think the order passed by the Supreme Court is in keeping with a lot of orders passed earlier, that when there are multiple FIRs on the same cause of action, then it is better that they are transferred to one place than numerous investigations over the same issue. Now, the reason this has really come about is because of the very nature of social media. You see, usually the place where the FIR is filed is where the offence occurs, whatever the offence is alleged in the FIR is. That is the normal cause of action for filing of an FIR. Now, what happens in social media? The effect of any comments claimed to have inflamed could be felt anywhere in the country. Now, because of that, technically, various courts in various states, in various cities, various districts, various towns will all have jurisdiction as long as the social media, somebody says, I access the media, here the information, the inflammatory material was felt within my village, and therefore the police here can investigate. And yes, because the effect of an action and where it is felt, and that, and in this case, the inflammatory nature is what caused the offence, alleged offence, which is why all these courts, all these police officers, various police stations had the jurisdiction to entertain an FIR. That is a natural problem which really arises from social media.
So what do you mean?
Now, the problem which
Argument,
arises
sir,
is if
sorry
each
to
of them
interrupt you for a
keeps sharing
second.
it. Let me finish this. The problem is if each of them start investigating, you have about 50 parallel investigations. So the court has been very consistent in a view when such a thing happens. It's better to club everything into one place. And all that the court has done here is to club it and bring it all to Delhi. It could equally have done it to Bombay or Calcutta or Chennai or anywhere else. But the court has brought it to Delhi, as in many other cases the court has done so. Has all the FIRs clubbed and said, in the investigation can be done centralized, and all other states will assist in the investigation, can be centralized in one place, and in this case, Delhi. So this is a normal order passed by the Supreme Court, and it is not something, I'm not commenting on the nature of the offense, all that is, nothing has been decided. What I'm commenting on is the joining of all the FIRs in one place, and in this case, Delhi, and I cannot find anything which at all can be criticized about an order like that, because I feel it is a very natural order. Someone says, why not Calcutta? Why not Bombay? Why not Chennai? And equally, you can ask the same question otherwise and say, why not Delhi?
Yeah.
So I don't think much turns on that.
So then why the objections, Ehtesham Hashmi? This was but a process of justice.
See, it's not about justice alone. The manner in which this order has been passed, I don't endorse this kind of judgment as a lawyer, because a special treatment has been given to Nupur Sharma. As we all know that my learned senior colleague, Honorable Senior Lawyer Sundaram sir has put a very good point on law. But we have all witnessed the situation that we know that Maharashtra government, Maharashtra police have registered the first FIR. So as far as my knowledge is concerned, then Maharashtra police should have the jurisdiction to investigate the case, because these kinds of judgments will set up a wrong trend. And we have witnessed, and you also know that few states are trying to support Nupur Sharma. And Delhi police summoned Nupur Sharma because Delhi police is having a soft corner for Nupur Sharma. That's why, to give her a indirect protection, indirect cover, they initiated investigation in Delhi.
So sir, not only are you casting an aspersion on the Supreme Court, but also the Delhi police.
See, Padmaja, there is a very thin line difference, and my learned senior colleague who is appearing on the other side, he may also agree with me that we cannot criticize the court, we cannot criticize the judge, but yes, as a lawyer, we can criticize the judgment. So I cannot compete in knowledge with my senior colleague, but whatever knowledge and
But
whatever...
on what basis are you saying that the Delhi police has a soft corner for Nupur Sharma? That is just a sweeping generalization. You have just questioned the judgment, and now you have made a sweeping generalization for no good reason about the Delhi police.
Padmaja, you can't use the different yardstick for different accused. Why special treatment has been given to Nupur Sharma? Why Delhi police is having a soft corner for Nupur Sharma?
What soft corners? There is a threat to her life. There is an open threat to behead her, my friend. What soft corner? To give security to a person who could, God forbid, be killed is not soft corner.
Central government is free to provide protection to Nupur Sharma, and on one hand...
What do you want? Do you want her to be killed? Do you want her to be killed? What is the alternative, sir, for somebody to show you that there is no soft corner, that she should be killed?
Elements like Nupur Sharma should be behind bars. They should have no right to move around.
Well, the Supreme Court has stopped coercive action, sir. Just because you think that she should be behind bars doesn't mean the law will put her there.
Because of her nonsense and illegal and illogical statement. She was trying to divide us on communal lines on national television.
Okay, so there is an insinuation, Ratan Sharda, almost that she has been given a safe passage, that cases have been transferred to Delhi police, which has a soft corner. Ratan Sharda.
I am not a lawyer, but being a person who has been looking at these cases, looking at the way courts have behaved, I have some opinion which may be right or may be wrong. The Supreme Court has generally taken a stance that all the cases which are filed in different places in the country can be clubbed together. This has happened repeatedly every time, so Nupur Sharma has got no special privilege about it. In fact, she was denied the privilege when in the first time when she approached Supreme Court, she was insulted, nearly abused, and made as if she was already a victim, though the observations not passed in the court, the same observations were used by people to create disaffection in the society, create violence, and many people lost their lives because of it.
So if this is the case and the lady who has been threatened from day one, if she doesn't get protection, who will get a protection? These people who say that she should first go to police stations in 6 states across India, don't they know that how people have been hacked to death? Are they unaware of this, or they deliberately want her to be killed? So as a person who said something on the TV debate in response to something which people talked about, where people abused, ridiculed her religion, and she just quoted a hadith, she has been made into a hateful figure, she has been made into a hateful symbol. And in her name, so many people have been killed.
Point out the duplicity of the argument when the Supreme Court reprimanded her in oral arguments, not even in an order. When the Supreme Court reprimanded Nupur Sharma, the Supreme Court was held up as the beacon of all that is good and beautiful. But today the same Supreme Court is being questioned. Slightly duplicitous Ehtesham Hashmi.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Hashmi, go on.
Yes, come again.
My question is, when the Supreme Court reprimanded Nupur Sharma, all was well. But today when the Supreme Court is noting that she faces a threat to her life, that those FIRs should be clubbed, only keeping in mind that there could be a threat to her life and limb, you are questioning their wisdom.
Even Supreme Court judges are human beings, and they can also commit error. They are not infallible. They can also commit error of law. So we as a lawyer and we as an honest citizen of India have every right to criticize or praise the judgment passed by Honorable Supreme Court. And these were the same judges who criticized Nupur Sharma on first date of hearing, and now they passed this protection order, and I don't have any issues. She should be protected. She should be adequately protected. Proper police protection should be provided to her. There is no doubt about it. Nobody can snatch her life. But as far as transfer of investigation is concerned, so Maharashtra police should have the first right to investigate the matter, not the Delhi police, because...
Well, you certainly should pass on that message to the Supreme Court in that case. Aryama Sundaram, what do you make of this argument that perhaps this is to give her the benefit of a soft investigation?
Let's understand one thing very clearly. What the Supreme Court said, its observations it made, reprimanding her, everything else, was, I feel, wholly justified considering the kind of comment she had made. I feel it was completely justified. And I myself was very critical of the things she had said. Now, the fact that the Supreme Court reprimanded her and said, look, you're a person who's made these comments which you ought not to have made, and in whatever language the Supreme Court felt, their views on it should be expressed. That is one thing. Whether to combine the FIRs and centralize it in one place is a different question. The court's observations about her comments is completely different from the question as to whether all the FIRs, instead of being pursued in different jurisdictions by different police stations, and very often it can even clash against each other, it being centralized is something the courts have consistently done. This is not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last as long as social media is there. It will be done. Now, the Supreme Court's order here has nothing to do with the Supreme Court's observations on what they felt about her various comments. That's a totally different issue. Combining the FIRs today was something which is quite in the ordinary. It is the normal course of action that the FIRs be combined in one place. I think the objections being taken is, why in Delhi? Why not in Maharashtra? Why not in Kolkata? Because right now I have my fellow panelist who says it should be Maharashtra. We have the TMC party saying it should be Kolkata. We have somebody else saying somewhere else. Now, leave that to the Supreme Court to decide where it can be centralized. But that doesn't mean that the court has shown any kind of difference. In fact, the court has shown the same treatment to Nupur Sharma that they've shown to everybody else when there are numerous FIRs. The court's observations on what she had said and done is totally different. Merely because you may reprimand somebody very strictly for what they've done doesn't mean that you will not follow the norm of combining of seeing that all the FIRs are centralized and brought to one place. They are two different things.
And
the court did not quash the FIRs. The court said, let it be investigated.
Absolutely, and for it to be questioned when the same group of people were calling the cases against Mohammad Zubair as process being the punishment. Here the punishment is being called like some kind of concession. Seems rather strange. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, all gentlemen, for joining me. Quick break and a big story from Karnataka coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere.